This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorgat, Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ready to get geeky with you. And you see we've dressed up Edward the Goat. We didn't introduce him on this show, actually, but he joined us over in the Wrestling Mayhem show. And now he has his little Space Invaders tie going on over here. So we've decorated a little bit. Yes, and he's hanging on whatever the space cube thing is from Spider-Man. But... we got a fun one for you guys this week, as usual. First of all, with us, I think back with us. She was off last week, I believe. The Dutters is back with us. We got to hang out up in Erie this past weekend around a wrestling show. That's fun because, you know, Destination Erie.
Yeah. Yeah. We were all out last week. We all ran away from you.
Yes, exactly. Yes, you did. Yes. So no,
coordinated.
Yes. Social media and photographer extraordinaire, we'll say. I love coming across. I finally finished all of the editing from June yesterday, and actually I got the approval shortly before the show, so the last formula video should be going up tomorrow when I get a moment to post it.
Nice.
So, but no, I love finding all of the like behind the scenes pictures and clips that we did while we were out and about, and I put a picture up of Katie preparing to command over 1,000 college students for a picture.
Yep, with my big mouth, I was able to.
That's right. No bullhorn required. You know,
Nope.
Just sitting on the flagger stand at the finish line of the Michigan International Speedway.
Mm-hmm. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. I think somebody called it the Jeff Hardy position.
Yeah.
Ron,
It was Podner.
Yeah, that was Potter. And Dave Potter is also back with us. Thank you for tagging in again and being the chiller
always
replacement.
Glad to be here. Always glad to be here.
He's the Big D from Studio V.
That works, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he threw the V sign up. Verona, right? Yeah, because I know the wrestling show was here this weekend, and you had some pictures from it. So no, good to have you back on the show, good sir. And we'll get into some geeky things here. Everybody check everything out, please, at awesomecast.com. Email us at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com. Tweet us at awesomecast. And, of course, we are live every Tuesday on the AwesomeCast Facebook, YouTube page, and the Sorgatron Media Twitch page. And we are also on Twitter on Spaces. We were not doing, I can't remember if I turned the thing on. No, I don't think we are. We're not going to be doing the live streaming to video on Twitter because there's been some adjustments in the some of the accounts that we have. We may resurrect it if I figure out an easy way to tack it on there. But honestly, you guys have been on like the YouTubes and the you know, some of the other formats that we've been doing too. So we're just going to kind of go with that for the moment, at least. Again, we may bring back the Twitter video if there's any need for it. But I should actually make sure that we're actually on the Facebook as well. Now that I'm thinking about it, we are confirmed. We are confirmed. Since I know that's where a lot of our good friends are hanging out over there. So we do appreciate that, and you can join us every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time when we there's my phone going when we do go live here for the show. Also, and please subscribe to all your podcast places. So hey, even just throw subscribe in there. Even if you check us out live, check out the video versions or anywhere else, or over on the Sorgatron Media Master feed, where you get this as well as Fishing Without Bait and the Wrestling Mayhem shows. Yeah, that's right. Of course, a shout out to our friends over at postindustrial.com helping share the awesomeness, and also the shout out to our friends that do support the show at patreon.com/awesomecast. Our friends at the executive producer level, Brian Crawford. At the coffee club level, Matt Weller, John Carmen, Cynthia Klosky, Scott McTaggart, and Mike Pound. And at the fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, Professor Buzzkill, and hey, Dave Potner. Hello.
Hey, Hello.
You guys support the show too over at patreon.com/awesomecast, and sometimes we do get a little bit of extra stuff going on over there. I know just clips from last week I haven't posted. As soon as I get a moment for that, we are accepting of technical interns, if you would. Actually, I've been talking with somebody that's been interested in getting involved in some of the production. So we're, we can only do so much around here, and we appreciate any help that we can to help grow the show. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. Dutters is going to show us the thing that she demonstrated in the hotel room this past weekend, apparently, that I completely need to. I need to say, Missy put an order through, and I don't know if she ordered that one or not. I need to go double check on that. So
Maybe it's in the box.
Maybe it's in the box. Is that the one for your other ankle?
I don't know. I don't know what's in this box.
What's in the box? Yeah, she got a mystery Amazon box that she's been holding up there for years.
Remember what I ordered?
It's so bad, isn't it? It's so freaking
it's
bad.
so bad.
Like, this is where we're at. So, but anyways, tell us about your awesome thing.
So I'm training for a giant hike out in Zion in Utah, and
Yes.
been working out like 6 days a week since May. So
And maybe some of you heard about it when Katie was on the Jagoff radio show last week talking about it.
Yeah, on Q92.9. Yeah,
Yes.
that was one of their local spotlight thingies. I was able to call in and talk to them about that. So that was really cool, and being able to tell them it's a whole it's through project. Oh, I have my T-shirt here. Oh, look at that convenience. It's called through Project Athena.
Hey, wow! Look at that. Wait.
It's cattail.
Hold that picture up. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to make out what she's doing there. Oh, wait, are you going to be rappelling off a mountain like this one?
No.
That's exciting.
No,
Whoa. Like, I was really impressed with what you're doing. Now I'm really impressed with what you're doing.
I'm repelling for sure. No training, just diving into it.
You're going to be like
Literally.
Tom Cruise hanging off a mountain. It'll be great.
Maybe they'll fly in a helicopter. Hang
Right,
off that.
exactly.
So
anyways, you're getting ready for your base jumping trip.
Yeah.
And
Yes. And so it's a community. The Project Athena, there's like about 10 of us going to Zion. And what it is it's you can go on these hikes, and then you can also apply to have your expenses paid when you're overcoming some sort of medical, I don't want to be like issue, but medical thingy doodle. And in my case, it was the breast cancer.
Mhm.
And so they are paying my whole way to do this, flight, everything. And so we're part of a training group, and we have a little chat. And one of the folks in the chat suggested this thing called a pro stretch. It looks scary. So you put your heel in here, and you put the front of your foot in here, and you lean against the wall. Like if this was the wall. And it's to stretch out your calves, your Achilles, and that has been my biggest hang up, and I didn't realize it's been my biggest hang up. Usually the next morning after I work out, I'm walking down the stairs like right foot, left foot on each step, the whole way down, because I'm so tight, and I'm stretching. I'm like, why is this not working? Why is this not working? And I'm stretching on my own. Someone suggested this, and game changer. I do it first thing in the morning, and I'm fine. I do it before my workout, and then after, and then and it takes a minute or so to just kind of do a little stretch, and I'm good to go. And I've noticed such a huge difference in not only like my Achilles and my calf, but also my knees are not as angry because that's all not getting pulled down tighter, and feet feel better. Like everything is feeling better because main area is not like complete like ball of tightness. So 100% love this thing. I did travel with it. It is it's not really it doesn't fold up or anything. It's just ta-da, it's like a little rocker. Little weighty but it's solid. But I love it. 100% would recommend it to anybody who has been any sort of training like this, or running, or Podner, you run.
Yes, and the one thing I do not do properly is stretching. That is my downfall.
And
I do not stretch properly.
And I've been doing none of it for my walks. So
yeah, and that's something I really need to do. And like you said, it's the one thing you forget about is how interconnected the entire lower body is.
Mm-hmm.
Where the ankles affect the knees affect the ankles. If your hips aren't flexible, they affect your knees. So if your hips are kind of tight, that affects your knees, and your knees hurt because your hips. And then that can have, because it was 3 years ago that I had a goofiness with my ankle, and doing that messed up my knees a little bit, and then that threw everything off. So yeah, so this looks very interesting, and the price is reasonable too.
From Amazon.
Right. Yeah, only $20, $24, I guess. And you can get that over there, and we'll include a link, of course, in the show notes too, so you can go check that out. We could have it by Thursday. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
So go check that out. So is the Pro Stretch the original calf stretcher and foot rocker for? I'm not saying those words. And tight calves, made in the USA.
Plantar fasciitis.
Thank you.
Plantar fasciitis, yes.
That sounds like a word a runner would know. All right.
You know, when the arch of your foot, have you ever like been doing things and the arch of your foot is like giving you a bunch of pain? There you go.
Yeah, that's my every morning. It's becoming that's what it does. Otherwise, I tried it and I'm like, I think my foot's too big for this. So, but I didn't have shoes on when I tried it, did I? So no, that's the biggest thing, because I'm like my toes were just like curling over. I'm like, I don't think this feels right, but I guess I need to actually with my shoes. I have the biggest thing for me. Missy has insisted. Missy got me some new footwear. She said, "This is for your hiking. This is for when you're steel toes for when you're out in Baja. This is your day to day, and not the cheap ones like I got you before. You know." So now I'm like, how did I get so many shoes? How am I a multi-shoe person? And how am I going to fit all these in a suitcase when I want to do walks on trips and stuff, right? So that's the new thing I'm going to figure out starting basically like tomorrow. So for this next trip.
And then Dutters goes, "Welcome to my last few months of summer and traveling for SAE."
Yep. So, you are my fitness traveling Yoda at this point. So
yes.
Ponder, what's your awesome thing of the week?
Sure. The fact, and this may be sneaking up on people, but the U.S. is launching a ship to the moon.
To the moon.
Is this next Monday?
This is our first manned flight to the moon.
Well, it's not crewed.
Oh,
it is not crewed.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a test, so this is uncrewed. Assuming everything goes well, and they're going to do lots of telemetry and lots of checking on it after the fact. The first crewed flight is going to be 2024.
Okay.
But that crewed flight is going to go around the moon.
Okay.
So they're being extra careful. They're not trying to rush with an artificial deadline like they did in the 60s.
Or if you watched Man on the Moon, or I'm sorry, For All Mankind this season, and what they did in the 90s for Mars, that led to a bunch of problems.
Exactly. I mean, the only thing I could see moving this up is if all of a sudden the Chinese say, "By the way, we have a crewed mission and it's launching next year."
Yeah. I could definitely see that.
But and nothing against. I could see the Chinese, if they launched a moon mission, they would announce it when they landed, similar to how the Soviet Union did not pre-announce anything, because it's not an open government society where, we're going to launch something. Oop, it's failed. You didn't do that. So that's why there's 3 steps. The first one is launching Monday, though. This is the most powerful rocket since the Apollo. It's actually more powerful than Apollo. So it will launch. This is a multi-stage. It looks like an old-fashioned rocket, and it's going to go around the moon multiple times and then come back to Earth. Okay. And like I said, this is the most powerful thing since the last moon launch. And the last moon launch, the last time we landed on the moon, I think I'm easy just knowing everyone here. No one here was alive last time we went to the moon.
That's the thing that blew my mind, and I only figured that out like a couple of years ago. Yeah. Right? So like that, like I thought like to me, in my mind, kept going up in shuttles, and I'm like, then what were we doing up there? And I guess it was the Hubble, it was the space station, it was other research projects and things going on.
Exactly.
You know, nothing else pushed us to the moon, I guess, right?
No, and also the moon missions from the '60s were we learned a lot of science from it, but it was mostly geopolitical.
Yeah,
it was mostly we're going to beat the Soviets. So
that's what pushed
people.
it.
A lot of people ask, why don't we just rebuild the Saturn V? A lot of things were, you know, when they made fun of Scotty from the old Star Trek, where he kind of just duct tape and threw stuff together and it worked. That's how a lot of that stuff was. It was, we're here to get to the moon by the end of the decade, like Kennedy said, especially after the assassination.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, we have to drill a couple holes in this rocket engine. Okay, we're going to drill a couple drills here. Okay, it works. Good.
Yeah.
No one wrote that down.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't keep the tooling from back in the 60s. So the tooling, the manufacturing resources, the skilled labor to actually build it, that's all gone. That's literally all gone. So there, not only are there no blueprints, there's no way to actually build it if we had the blueprints.
Yeah.
So they're having to. That's why they had to kind of go from not scratch, because they using a lot of the information they learned from the shuttle, but it's relatively newish technology. So now, so like I said, now NASA's lots of information about the launch that's happening on Monday, hopefully Monday. Of course, weather. It's launching from Florida, so you always have to watch out for weather. Hopefully it's good. It's good for that. So again, it's going to be, they're planning on 3 flights before we land people on the moon. They did say the first crewed mission to actually land on the moon will have a woman and a person of color in it.
Okay.
So it just won't be a bunch of white guys
that's
like
good.
it was the last time. Which honestly is the right way. And I know there's some people who are like, well, they're picking the best people.
Yes.
Without saying, like last time where they couldn't, there may have been qualified women. I'm sure there were qualified women and qualified African Americans who, hey, you should be on this mission. But given the American political situation at the time, there would be uproar over.
We have a much bigger pool. We have a much bigger pool that we can appropriately represent everybody. Without sacrificing any quality of the people in there.
Exactly.
So like there's a whole different kind of situation than 40, 50, whatever years ago.
50 plus.
I don't want to do the math right now.
Well, no. The only reason I know the math, the last moon mission was splashed down mid-December 1972. I was born a couple weeks later.
Wow.
So that's how I know it's been 50 years.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing they have, and this is something because NASA is a government program, you have to get funded by Congress. And the easiest way to get funded by Congress is to say, oh, we'll use the supplier from your congressional district and your congressional district and your congressional district.
Right.
So they have a map that actually shows all their partners. And you can zoom down to your level and say, oh, that company there is making a part that's going on the Artemis mission.
This is and this was a storyline in For All Mankind. In that version, there was actually something that I think failed. I think it's that. You know what? It's either that or the retelling of the actual landing on the moon. I'm not entirely sure now because I was watching the first season of both at the same time and they started blending together in my head because they were about the same period of time, just one's an alternate version of it. And I started forgetting which one was real. But no, there was somewhere along there was a whole thing about that. But whatever congressional district change they made was subpar in comparison for whatever reason. It wasn't made for quality. So, that was the downside of this process. But ideally this is hopefully also the best, tools for the job along with it. So, and again, bigger, source of, bigger source of, technology is further along than it was in that period.
Oh,
so,
yeah. In fact, there's a a place that is right on the border of Oakmont and Verona, which is around 2 miles away from my house, which is actually supplying one of the parts.
Nice.
And there's I think there's 4 or 5 places in Allegheny County that Pittsburgh's in, for anyone outside of Pittsburgh, that are actually supplying parts for them, either this mission, the Artemis 1, or going up to 2 or 3, including the lander. Nice. And the robotics missions, which are supporting it.
Nice. So awesome. And I do believe our friend, a mutual friend of ours, Ginny Pitt Girl, was it Jane Pitt on Twitter, right? I don't know. I just see her face pop
Jane
up whenever
Pitt.
I read it. I believe she did get selected to go view it at NASA for the launch. So that was very, very cool.
That is something NASA's doing that's very smart social media wise, is that they said, oh, you want to come down now. I think they're paying on their own.
Yeah.
So NASA's not paying for you, but if you want to come down and you're a social media person,
yes,
apply. We'll review, and yes, please come. We're not going to have the, in the olden days, the 3 networks, or right now probably the 4 or 5 networks who would come down. We want a person, not just someone connected up to a network, but you're a social influencer, you're a podcast, you're a Twitter,
and
come down 4 miles away and get awed by the scene.
If anybody's an influencer in Pittsburgh, it's Ginny Montanez for sure. So, and Brian's in the chat room as well, of course, representing pghmuseums.org. So bringing the appropriate information here. Moonshot Museum on the north side of Pittsburgh will be opening this fall, and you can see equipment being made for NASA, he believes. It definitely shows you the equipment being made there. So, and I know, like I said, we have somebody here locally working on stuff for the NASA program. So I know I've been seeing the billboards for it, I think, have been around town, in articles and things like that have been popping up. So very, very cool to see there's a cool Pittsburgh connection to this in a couple of ways at this point. So I love this. This is the stuff that we've been talking about, right? I will not be... Wait, when are they launching? On the 29th? What day is that?
I muted myself. Monday. Next Monday.
Oh, don't do this
next
to
Monday.
Me. Don't do this to me. That's when I leave Florida.
I know.
I'm gonna be nearby. Oh no. What time of day are they doing it?
Let me check here. Hold on.
Missy's gonna kill me.
Let's see here. Okay.
I'm doing the math.
The countdown starts there. I'm looking. It says pre-launch.
It's scheduled between or a 2-hour window opens at 8:33 a.m.
Yeah. I've done it twice before, and it's 2 hours from where my site is. The first time we drove out between days of the event to like a midnight launch, I think it was 11:30 at night probably. So 2 hours over, 2 hours back, and then did the event the next day, or probably the next 2 days. So but I'm tempted because my flight's not till like 8:30 that night. So
ooh, yeah.
No, this thing, like I said, given the size of this rocket, this is something that is the largest rocket available in the last 50 years. This thing makes the space shuttle look small.
I'm saying
it makes SpaceX stuff look small. This thing is massive. I'm
sending this article to my wife, who is at a political event, right now, and I'm just gonna say, Monday morning,
road trip.
Question mark?
Question mark? Maybe? Send. Hi, you want to go see some history? So, and this is there's no SpaceX parts in this, right?
No.
Okay,
no.
So this is Lockheed, isn't it?
It's actually a group of.
There's a little bit of everybody. Okay.
Yeah, this is the space launch system, the SLS.
It's a NASA collaboration, so it's a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe including SpaceX, or just like the normal kind of suspects. Probably.
I think it's a normal
suspects plus like some of these newer companies.
I want to. Think no. I'm trying to remember. SpaceX worked on Orion, the Orion capsule.
Okay. Yes.
Was developed by SpaceX, but just like everything else with that, And if you remember the movie Apollo 13, where they had, Well, they could just go up to the lunar module and get the filter from the lunar module and use it in the command module. Like, oh, it doesn't fit. Why? They were made by different companies. So they don't fit the right shape. And they're like, okay, well, how can we get that into that? Go figure it out so they don't die.
Yes, which I think involves a lot of duct tape.
It's like, it's literally, it's a puzzle.
Yeah.
It is a puzzle. That's just the way, because these things are so complicated and large. It's almost impossible for one company to do everything.
Fantastic. I love it. All right. Well, that's out there, and we'll see what happens. Well, screw Disneyland. This is way more exciting. So my awesome thing, I didn't even get a chance to put it in here. I threw it over on, let's see, it's on my Twitter, and I think I did throw it in the Facebook group. I literally just saw this video pop up, I think, on my Twitter. And it'll make sense if you know me. But there was, and I'm not even the right account. What's going on here? Jeez. So, if you remember the Friday the 13th video game, it was one of those. It's like another game that's out called Dead by Daylight, where it's P versus E, which means like one person plays the monster or Jason, right, and everybody else is like the camp kids that he's trying to kill, and you have to escape or something like that, or like, you know, he's like basically got all these powers and everything like that. And it's really kind of built up. Well, apparently those same developers are working on, and here's a throwback that I hope some of you in the audience are aware of, the old classic from, I believe, the 80s, the Killer Clowns from Outer Space movie. So they are doing a video game. It's coming out in 2023 to PC and consoles. It is going to be a P versus E game. Again, much akin to Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th. And I mean, you know, also parts of this movie were used in an album by the Insane Clown Posse called The Wraith Shangri-La. So, you know, I am familiar with it in a musical sense as well. But yeah, it's one of those kind of third person, you know, over the shoulder sort of, you know, multiplayer games. And that feels so perfect for this kind of thing. So looking forward to that. I signed up. You can sign up for the beta test. Let them know what consoles you have or PC or what platforms. iOS and Android are listed as well, by the way, but that might just be a general thing. You know, I'm not sure if it just says, you know, PC and consoles are listed. It listed like Mac OS, so you know, you never know. So, but if you're interested in that, if you were a fan of the old Killer Clowns from Outer Space or just interesting 80s, you know, schlock movies, you know, that's just freaking awesome. So, Clowns the Game on Twitter apparently is the account, which I am following now. So go check that out. Have you guys watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Am I the only one?
I saw the Scare Zone years ago at what was it? Probably 3 years or so ago at Halloween Horror Nights too.
The Scare Zone?
Cool. Yeah, down at Halloween Horror Nights they have little so they have the essentially like the haunted houses that you walk through.
And Universal Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so you, so you saw that interpretation of it. So
yeah,
that's
super
awesome.
cool.
Yes. so right up that alley. So no, and I love those P versus E games. So but those will fit good. So hopefully I get to play that here in the next year. 3v7 multiplayer horror game. Huh. Interesting. I haven't seen that. So I imagine that's 3 clowns versus 7 like regular people trying to escape. So that's fun because then you can do a little more like multiplayer strategy with that, or everybody just kind of runs around and shoots things. Like that's what typically happens in these games, I think. But anyways, so give a shout out to our friends at Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. When we do have some guests, and we have some great guests that have been in here last few weeks for Wrestling Mayhem show. We get to feed them. We don't send them home hungry when they leave at like midnight after we bullshitted for a couple hours. So thank you to our friends, a neighborhood staple over here in the literally hopping. Why do I know the neighborhood's hopping? Because parking has been a pain in the ass. New York City style, yins are made. 4 locations: Beachview, Carnegie, East End, and the North Hills. Check out our friends sliceonbroadway.com or visit their locations if you're in the Pittsburgh area. And thanks to them for supporting the show. Oh, I got a problem. I have my webcam on, and I have the television on for the wrestling show that's coming on tonight, and I keep getting people detected and notifications on my Wise Cam. It's just Melissa Harkite on Law and Order SVU. So, but anyways, all right. So let's see what else we got to chat about for the rest of the show here. Dave, you got a new mug. No, you found a mug. Did you get this mug?
I did not get the mug yet. No.
Okay,
no,
because I think we're all about to order this mug.
Yeah, I am so tempted on this mug, and just because I like puns.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's just, and it's, it literally, it's kind of like, I do have a bit of a 13-year-old sense of humor going on.
I mean, don't we all? That's why we all get along so well, right?
Exactly. So, if you're familiar with, you've heard this a bunch of places, being a freak in the sheets. Well, this is a freak in the sheets, but the cup has a light screenshot, if you will, of an Excel spreadsheet. So this is perfect for us people who just love spreadsheets so much.
Oh, there it is. Like, finally I can pull it up. There it is.
There we go.
There you go. And not sheets like the gas station.
No,
that's so funny.
No, because that would be a Z.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
And they would somehow put a Z in the freak somehow because they put Z's in everything.
Oh, that's such a geek one. That's one for that's one for our accountant friends and our data entry friends and everything.
Anyone who just, it's like, oh, I have to do this. Well, let me put it in a spreadsheet, and I can do this, and I can track this, and I can put this here, and we can output it that way. Like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Jeez. All right, putting that order in. Was there a link to it, or was it just a social media thing?
No. If you go to the Facebook on the upper right, it says "Get it here."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it has a nutrition, and on the back, it's for accountant. Unfortunately, it just says accountant. Yep.
Oh.
Because honestly, I can let you know, engineers use spreadsheets just as much as anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just easier to do this than it does to do a program.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, or if you do programming inside of a spreadsheet.
If you need something similar, I literally have a Google spreadsheet that I have labeled quick math. When I'm like, I have like a bunch of numbers I just need to add up real quick, right? Like if I'm doing like a real quick, like I would just ask for like kind of a general highball proposal for a trip that we're doing soon, and I just threw like, okay, hotel should be this. We'll round it up to the nearest 100. This should be around this. This should be around this. Boom. I got it added up and it spits out a number and can give them the number. And I even like copy paste like this is my big estimates. Let me know if you see anything weird with this kind of thing. So like that's that. Between that and our equipment list calculations, that Missy is amazing at, and that's why she's also getting this link too. So. At her political event. So when she's laughing in the back, I'm sure it's for the issues. All right. Here's another one everybody can use. Katie, what's TikTok up to?
TikTok. Oh, I feel like we've been dancing around this with like every conversation we have about TikTok and like TikTok offering suggestions for this. But TikTok is getting a nearby option. So they're testing it out now. So you're going to be able to get more folks that are nearby. It looks like there's a lot of speculations about what it looks like when they've asked about it, whether they'll just have locations that have tags on them already. But I don't know if I don't know how heavily you use TikTok, but I have noticed I have gotten a lot more local TikToks showing up.
Okay.
Yeah, showing up in my my feed. And I was like, wait, they're from Pittsburgh, or they're from Fayette County or whatever, you know what I mean? They're just local to the area. And that seems to be happening much more often than before. So I don't know if that's kind of them just kind of trickling it out or, they, how they test these things, they kind of put things out. And, and we had the conversation that Google is very concerned about TikTok cutting into, being the optimum for search engine optimization, or searching. I can almost figure it out.
And basically that the youngins are actually using this as how we find out where to eat. in on Instagram and then TikTok and stuff. And then we were like, how does this work if I search for a restaurant on TikTok? Things like that, right?
Mm-hmm. So now, like, Google's gonna be more like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok's just growing and growing.
Yeah, I say Google and Facebook too.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Facebook's already getting hurt because of what Apple did with their ads. And yeah, honestly, and the thought, at least maybe it's the thought of, well, you're a real person on TikTok. You're not a corporation. You're not, you seem, a lot of people seem, even with all the filters, you seem like a real person talking to someone. So, I trust you, or I can see the restaurant you're at, or I can see the store you're at, and you get a real feeling for it versus like even like a Yelp review, or just going like to Google Shop where like that. So yeah.
And your article the TechCrunch article you have here attributes to like catching up with things like Snapchat Snap Map, and Instagram's searchable map that we were playing with a little bit. And that's the thing, I love that idea of like, I love the Snap Map. It just wasn't in something that I would use, time to time. It's not a thing that would have made me keep Snapchat on my phone, right? But I do love that idea of, hey, Steelers game is happening. Here's everybody's view from this crazy thing that happened. Or, hey, this festival's downtown. Hey, the Picklesburg is happening. What does that look like, right? And you can check that out. I love the idea of this happening around wrestling shows and events that we do, and MMA shows, and watching the everybody's fans' perspective. Or maybe for us, I'm always thinking about ways that we talk about what we do behind the scenes, and now that's mixed in. Like, hey, everybody went to this show that has a few hundred people in downtown Erie, and now we're talking about the show and what we're doing, and all the fans are enjoying it, and Ja Rule was playing for free 2 blocks away, and now they're intermingling if they're looking at this function, right? And we're like, oh, there's wrestling over here? I never come downtown. I didn't realize there was something like this happening, right? It could really help with discoverability, so, and especially if you're in new towns and trying to figure out what to do. And you're like, what do you mean there's a street festival 2 blocks away from my hotel? Like those kinds of things can pop up. That's where this gets like really fun and exciting in those kind of situations. So, but, and again, event coverage, is something significant happens. So,
and I hate to say, I didn't need to talk. Were you going to say
something,
something, Doctor? Okay.
No, go ahead.
I say, if this works out, Instagram's going to have something just like it in a month.
Well, they already do, right? The searchable map. Like that's
map,
their version, but they'll start integrating more like reels and things, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
That's, I mean,
I meant with the reels because, just like what you posted, maybe a month ago, with the one app that said, "Hey, at one day, at a certain time, we're going to put a
Be Real."
Be Real, which Instagram's now testing a version of Be Real where it's front and back camera at a certain time where everyone on Instagram said, hey, let's all take a picture of what we're looking at and ourselves at the same time. Like,
which
they
also
just copied it.
They did. And that's the thing. And anytime you get it, like, hey, this is a nice thing, but nobody's on it. But if the feature dropped in the middle of Instagram where we're all on it, I know we're going to potentially partake in this, or I will start this and I know people will see it. Because Dave, I think it was just you and me were doing it. And then, we both kind of dropped off. We both dropped off after a week because we're like, what the hell are we doing? Like, where's everybody at? And that's where it kind of dies, just dies on the vine there. Cause you're just like, well, there's no, and it wasn't giving you, I think there was a public feed, but I didn't feel like something I wanted to do, like, I don't care what everybody else's living room looks like. You know what I mean?
Honestly, there wasn't, if you're doing something around something exciting, it's different. But if it's just a matter of, it's 3 p.m., everyone take a picture. Most of the pictures are going to be boring.
You're at the desk.
Sorry.
You're at home.
Yeah.
If you're working from
Pretty
home.
much,
Or there was some stuff came up. I think in our podcast was talking about this, where somebody was working at a financial institution, like like a Wall Street financial institution, and they took a picture, and there was spreadsheets with proprietary information in front of her that's on camera, and so and that came up in like like that warning came to employees, apparently as part of it. So, but yeah, that's the kind of stuff. For me, it's like, you caught me at the time where I'm watching, TV, before the show here every time, not during the show when it could be a little more exciting, or something like that. Or, hey, I'm driving because, I have to go 5 states away today, things like that. But it could be exciting. It could be fun, but just it has to be in mass, I guess.
Well, you know what? I would love it if more apps would integrate using a front and back camera at the same time. I know like Filmic Pro, the double shot.
Yes.
That can do it. But I know Apple allows you to do it, but they don't have it built in. But if Instagram or
you need an app,
TikTok, they could have it built in as an API, that would be something interesting, especially, like reaction shots when something happens. Yes. I'm an event. This is what's happening. And here's my face and here's the crowd behind me all reacting as you're looking at whatever's happening at the same time.
That could be fun. Katie, were you trying to get something in earlier?
No, I was going to say they had the perfect example for us in this. For example, this is going back to TikTok and the nearby. For example, if your For You page, it's essentially pairing the local with your For You page, your algorithm that you've kind of curated. If your For You page often displays restaurant recommendations or must-see hiking spots, the nearby feed should show you videos of local restaurants and local hiking spots.
Mine just shows me Bruce Campbell and somebody on a Mario Kart throwing turtle shells at a New York City police officer.
It seems about right for your For You.
I'm waiting for that to localize, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's hopefully you'll start seeing. I guess it sounds like it's getting rolled out soon, like this whole nearby thing. So I think you're gonna start seeing more local content. I believe on there.
Yeah. I thought I saw a line here about this being in Southeast Asia. Yeah, they're testing with select users in Southeast Asia, and that would be like the China kind of areas, right? And probably a few other countries around there that I can't recall. Oh, geography.
It'll be a little bit.
What's that?
Geography. It'll be a little bit, but
yeah.
You'll start seeing. They've been pretty. I mean, like I feel like TikTok's been one of the apps that like you can tell they're testing something new, as opposed to a lot of other social media apps where you're just kind of like, here's a new change. You're like, what? I didn't expect this happening.
Yeah.
But they kind of.
Instagram's been interesting with that because I'll get all the changes. Like I noticed that the posting completely changed on my personal account, but it's still. Like my personal account never matches my business accounts. Like the account for this page or Mayhem. Well, yeah. So I'm spending most of the time at Mayhem Show and sometimes like Sorgatron being a sidekick, trying to reactivate those a little bit, get a little more going on. But like it's always like this is like they're all stuck in the old way. I'm getting all the new features because I'm so active, right, in my personal account because I'm always posting the behind the scenes and the hiking and my dog, and people respond to it. So I'm probably in that higher-ish percentile where they're going to start pushing to it, where we don't have the audiences on some of the other accounts. So it's very interesting. So, Potter, what are you taking a picture of over there? I see you sneaking something.
Without boring everyone so much.
Okay.
But let me see if I can get this on here.
Oh, put it in the center.
I have to unblur.
Is that the cat? I see a cat.
Camera.
It looks like the shape of a cat.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
just on your desk cat. Fantastic.
Desk cat.
Yep. Fantastic.
Okay, whatever. Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. I got some video game stuff that I'm excited about, but so Movie Pass is coming back, baby. Whether you want to use it, I don't know. I still pay my $20 a month for AMC, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to watch this month because I'm like, there's nothing out this month. So I think I watched my Bullet Train. I need to watch one more movie to break even, right? And I'm running out of time. But anyways, Movie Pass, it got purchased by, I think one of the original owners of it, purchased it back for basically almost nothing. It's going to be returning, in kind of a limited beta on September 5th with plans starting at around $10 per month. Now, it was a little more expensive to start with. I hopped on it when the rest of the world did, when it was $10 a month for quote unquote unlimited movies, or then it got down to like 3 a week or something like that. And then it kind of stopped working, and then they just kept running out of movies, and we would be okay with a movie at the check-in when you go pull in the parking lot, and the movie would be full. And we're like, what the hell? In the 25 minutes it takes for us to get to the theater, right? We wouldn't be able to actually do the movie that we intended. So plans are going to start around $10 a month. Very interestingly, if you go to the movie pass website here on this Tuesday night, August 23rd, there is an ominous countdown. I got an email today as a former movie pass user to go sign up for the beta, which I can't do for another 1 day and 13 hours. So they're going to open up the sign-ups. They're going to put you on a waiting list, and those sign-ups I think they're going to open, and they're going to close the sign-ups in like 10 days or something like that. The plans will start at $10. From the sounds of things, the plans will range depending on what market you're in. Supposedly, they have about 25% of theaters signed up for this. They probably will not have AMC or Cinemark, amongst others. So off the top of my head, I'm like, well, where would I use this if they have it in the Pittsburgh area, right? If it seems like a pretty good deal and a pretty way to do this, I could switch over here from AMC, but AMC gives me a pretty decent, the usability has been, really, really nice, like that they've added Entourage. So I was like, hey, let's go get tickets for a movie. I don't have to synchronize with my wife to say, hey, I'm seat D3. Make sure you get D4 and make sure it's this showing. I can literally just put 2 seats, say that she's coming with me, and her AMC account will just give her a ticket, right? So that's been one huge upgrade over the last year in using that service. So, and again, honestly, they have a very nice Dolby theater down there at the waterfront, and that is my go-to place to watch movies right now. It's the biggest, loudest, seat rumbling, best screen, probably in the city, to be honest. So to my awareness, at least. But sometimes it would be nice to just kind of like head out to a different part of town and see a movie. But also, I'm finding myself limited when there's no AMC when I'm on the road too. So Michigan's especially bad when it's something like an hour and a half away to the nearest theater that I could use from where we're at. So because I think the one by us closed down. Oh no! Drop my keyboard. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you guys? You guys haven't done like a movie pass or anything like that, have you?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
I have not.
But is that something on your radar as if it makes it easier for you to go to the movies and it's not such a big? The worst thing is the popcorn, but we're on a diet, so we're not getting the popcorn anymore. We just pay a lot for a bottle of water. That's it. So, what would they need to do to get you on board?
There was a stretch where I was going to movies, and then now I'm just like, I can just watch stuff at home.
Yeah, there is so much, right?
I went back to, it was their point where it was like, there wasn't much, on now all the streaming services have so much right now that I'm like, oh, I'm watching this. I'll stay home and watch Sandman. I'll watch, it's like, I can just watch this stuff that I'm interested in.
Absolutely.
And then wait. And by then, the other stuff's already on the streaming service. Yeah,
the window closing, because I just saw an email for Super Pets that I didn't get a chance to go out and see. I don't know if it'd be worth seeing in the theater, right? Maybe I'll just go see it on one of the smaller screens just to get it in. But it's going to be on digital. It'll probably be on HBO Max. Oh, who knows with HBO Max these days? But it'll probably be on HBO Max in like another month or so. If they're still in some of those deals, at least, who knows anymore?
Say, assuming they haven't canceled everything for tax write-off.
Oh my gosh, that drives me insane what they're doing. I hate when you hold content from the people and paying the creators, for a tax write-off like that. That part really bothers me. But it's kind of more of an art thing than anything else. Like, we'll never see the Batgirl. We'll never see this Batgirl. We'll never see this take of and the first Michael Keaton in the bat suit again. that I find bothersome a little bit as a fan at least. So
To be honest, the last movie that I felt I had to see, like, oh, the movie's coming out, I want to see it the first weekend instead of, oh wait, no big deal, was The Force Awakens.
Okay.
Literally, episode 7 was the last one. I was like, I want to see this. I want to see it multiple times in the theater. But every other movie, it's like, okay, yeah, you do miss like the big extra large screen and the extra sound and the rumbling and everything. But is it worth? And I hate to say this is part of getting old. It's like, okay, this movie's 2.5 hours. It's going to take 15-20 minutes from when we sit down to when the movie starts. That's a 3-hour block.
So that's it's like, oh, we don't have to be there right at the time because we know there's going to be at least 20 minutes of previews. So
yeah,
that's me.
Yeah.
I will do movie math. I will be like, all right, it's going to be like this. We have this many minutes of previews. We're rolling in it this time. Let's go.
Yep, and hope somebody's not in your assigned seat, right?
But, I mean, there is something saying, I'm willing to wait 2-3 months. And by the way, I like being able to pause it, or if something's happening, I don't have to, worry about being.
Nope. It's just the cat in the entire shot.
Exactly. We're getting cattail. I say Bradley will not be happy. We're getting cat butt.
So much butt on this show.
Cat butt.
Yes. Oh boy.
But yeah, I mean, I was never Ruth was more the moviegoer than I was. But I honestly, I don't see us going out to that many movies where, and they don't even, the thing is, they're not giving a lot of details. They're saying, oh, it's $10, $20, $30 and we'll give you credits.
Yeah. No, they're going to drop the info. They're going to drop the info on you when you sign up on the waiting list, apparently, here in a day and 13 minutes. So for me, I'm sorry, it's kind of, I mean, I'm not a movie maker, but I'm still a video person, right? So I have a lot of affinity for this. So I'm just looking at my list of what kind of movies am I seeing in the theater? Bullet Train, nope. Thor: Love and Thunder, of course. Marvel movies, you have to see it. The only one I never saw in the theater was Black Widow, because when it was happening, right? Minions, just because I took Missy. Lightyear, Jurassic Park, Top Gun. Oh, geez, Top Gun in the theater was like the way to see it, right? Well, especially again, like a Dolby theater. If you're lucky enough to have a good theater near you. Right. And then that's an expensive ticket. That's something like a $16, $17, $18 ticket if you just go see that movie there. And typically things are like, 8 to 12, depending on the other theaters. I just go to AMC's a lot and I see the price tag when I, get my ticket from the thing, because it zeroes it out on the app. But yeah, that's my thing, and it rumbles and you hear it, and it's like, I love feeling movies. I love going to concerts to feel that. I love being at wrestling shows to feel the audience, and that's part of that whole thing coming circle for me for movies. So, but yeah. Anyways, Godzilla. That was the other thing in the back of my head. Godzilla was definitely a theater movie, and because it was just like something giant. Fast and Furious theater movie, like these big loud movies you want in a big loud theater. There's nothing worse than going to a mediocre theater that doesn't have a good projector, that's blurry, that doesn't have good sound, that sounds like it's basically mono coming out of the screen, and you're watching The Batman, where everybody's whispering. Whispering in the Rain. This is the Whispering in the Rain movie. But yeah, it's that's kind of the thing there. So. Well, at that point, it is about 8 o'clock, so I think it's time to wrap up here. Dave Ponder, thank you so much for dropping into the show today. I know it was a little bit short notice.
Oh, no, thanks for having me. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at ProfPod. And since Chilla's not here, we're having and with him having pumpkin time, I decided in his honor to, while we're on the show, to enjoy a lovely pumpkin spice protein drink.
I love it.
Tell me more. Okay. I'm gonna have to get a couple of those. Tis pumpkin season. So excited. So excited. Though in my household, the pumpkin season never ended because I have a wonderful Amazon subscription to some pumpkin spice Keurig pods that I've been enjoying periodically. But it was good to see it pop up at Dunkin'. I actually had pre-ordered Dunkin' and then saw the sign for the pumpkin spice when I was leaving town the other day. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch. I missed my chance. I missed my first shot. So we got some, I got some cold brew on the way back in town. Katie, I don't know. Are you a pumpkin aficionado? Are you all about the pumpkin season? Has to be.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Look at him. He's down in it over there.
John.
What's your go-to pumpkin?
Well, which are we doing coffee?
Yeah. What's your go-to pumpkin thing?
Like if we just talking like Starbucks versus Dunkin', Starbucks for sure.
Okay.
I'm a PSL girl for sure.
Oh yeah.
And
a fellow basic white girl here. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. But I do have a thing of pumpkin spice in my spice cabinet.
Yes.
So I'm ready for you.
I'm trying to slide to the cold brews just for the calorie sake, unfortunately. But I'm gonna have to indulge in some PSLs here very soon, especially some Starbucks stuff. So. Thank you, Kay Dutters on the Twitter, and of course you're all over. I saw your hospital trip. I was on your stories today over on Instagram. So
4 appointments, boom.
4 appointments today. Jeez. Tuesdays.
Surviving.
Tuesday's medical adventure day for Katie still. So / fashion show.
Did you want to know what's in the box?
Oh yeah, what's in the box? This is the grand finale.
Pepper spray.
Pepper spray.
Yep. Technically, it's pepper gel because we're not risking the blowback.
Okay. So this is definitely inspired from our experiences at the bar the other night, right?
Probably. It was a process before that, but now I'm like, yeah, for sure.
The gentleman with the face tattoos love Katie.
Mm-hmm. My demographic.
That's right. Very Baja. Anyways.
You're Baja. Podner would appreciate it. Baja, my demographic.
Podner, we'll tell you what that means after the show. Thank you, everybody that's been joining us. And please support the show. Thank you for everybody that's been listening. And please hop in. Definitely the Facebook group is hopping. I guess I didn't plug it at the beginning of the show. But share your stories through the week. We always try to put those in the document to bring up here on the show. And a lot of conversations happening. I know my brother's been talking a lot about like Steam Decks and things going on there because he's very involved in that kind of stuff. So, and it was his birthday the other day too. Shit, I think I missed my nephew's birthday. I think it was yesterday, but he's in South Carolina, so he's busy. But yeah, my brother and nephew are like 2 days apart. So it's like, okay, get everybody birthdayed. Anyways, thank you, everybody. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.